All right. Good morning, YouTube. It's August 3rd, 2026, 11 something a.m. Um, this is just a video going over all the books I got. I think in like around the past 8 months, probably since the start of the year. And the main places where I get books are Savers is really good because at least the ones here in the Bay Area, they have a ton of books. Like if you go to Goodwill, there's like a little sort of bookshelf where they mainly have like terrible cookbooks and stuff that nobody really wants to read. But at Savers, they really do have, a good 500 books to go through. Savers is a place I like to go. Especially because, Goodwill just changed its policy on books, and now it's like you're billed based off of the original amount it is of sale in the back of the book. So if you're trying to buy a book and it's like it originally cost $25, then you have to pay like $6, which really pissed me off. So I try not to go to Goodwill anymore. So there's Savers. There's the public library sales, which are really good. That's another place too, where you can get books for like 50 cents, $1, $2, and just good quality stuff. So I go to the one near me, and I go to the one next to in Berkeley, Friends of the Library sale. They have really good stuff. So of all the books I had, probably the most expensive ones cost me around $5, which I think is really, really good. So I don't buy anything new. None of these books are new. All of these books had previous owners. And yeah, let's just get into it. This is a book. It's called Folk Tales of Iraq. I guess my screen is mirrored, so you can't even see. But I like things like this, just little folkloric stuff, and has like pictures of, I guess, Iraqi people. It's just something light, just something interesting. That book was from, I'm pretty sure, Friends of the Library sale near me. This next one is Walls and Mirrors, Mexican Americans, Mexican Immigrants, the Politics of Ethnicity. Just things like this, I think, are interesting, sort of thinking about sort of where you're Mexican. I'm not Mexican, but where that sort of identity begins and ends, someone raised in the United States, but has some sort of a Mexican heritage. It's sort of interesting. This cost me 50 cents actually. I was gonna say $5. Anyway, these next ones cost me $5. These are from Moe's. Moe's in Berkeley has like these books that they lay outside. It's like $5 sale, and it's just sort of steep for me because you try to get two and it costs you like $10. It's like what am I doing? I like to get like 4 or 5, and the bill is like $25. For $25, you go up the street and into the Friends of the Library sale, and you can get literally a bag of books for like $25. So, anyways, this book is political organization and governance in indigenous territories in Latin America, which is like a mouthful, obviously. But yeah, it's in Spanish, so sort of things like this are like, okay, $5. I think it's reasonable because obviously these aren't printed in the United States, printed in South America, Mexico, or Spain. So somehow found its way in the Bay Area. So books like these that are in Spanish, I really like. Sort of trying to improve in that category. So that was like $5. And this is a nice book on abstract painting, which I quite like. It's even perforated, little perforation on the front. And these sort of art books I really enjoy. Even though this one, I think this. Oh no, it's not black and white. I thought it was. Stuff like this. Let me see what it has. Gosh, has like Ron Miro sort of stuff. Calder. Famous de Kooning. God, I'm bad at this. Okay, whatever. So this is $5, and I'm pretty big, you could say, fan of abstract art. Wow, there's a lot of more stuff to go. So this is a little stack that I have on the ground. So it's sort of dusty, and you get the dust off. These are both Nietzsche stuff, Genealogy of Morals, Beyond Good and Evil. I picked these up. I read the Gay Science a few years ago. It was also the Kaufman translations. I think I was like 14, 15, no, I was like 15. And that book I really enjoyed. Really, really enjoyed it. And obviously, I'm still young, but when you're that young, it's sort of difficult for everything to come across. Like, it's difficult to really appreciate everything. You sort of have the impulsivity to keep going, not necessarily to read through the actual text, but sometimes you just want to get through. You can go to the next aphorism, go to the next one, go to the next one. With someone like Nietzsche, it's like a singular page of his work. You can really, it's good to simmer in it for a good 20 minutes. You can simmer through a really good page of all of his pages are really good. A really good page of his work you can really sit down and struggle with for a good 20, 30 minutes. You can just sit there. And that's sort of what I prefer doing than to just mindlessly go through things. I sort of found that out. Like, you can have this sort of thing where you want to, I have a certain reading goal. I want to go hit, 5 books this month or 12 books this month. Or I have this reading goal of, 120 books this year. But I don't really like doing those sorts of things. Not that I ever even really attempted to do so. Obviously, you want to have an amount of books that you like. You should probably read at least 2 a month. I think is fine. But I think there's a minimum that maybe you should have. But sort of trying to always achieve a maximum of stuff when you're reading serious stuff, I think that's sort of a mistake. I think it sort of means that you're reading a page just to get to the next one. You're always looking for when the chapter ends, and you're not really in the world of, the philosophy book. You're not in Nietzsche's head. You're just trying to get to the next section, which I think is sort of a little bit of a shame. That's personal. So these should be good. I like Kaufman's translation. Not that I've ever read any other translations, but I also have this exact. I really like these covers, and I have the Gay Science one too. Although the Gay Science one, I think, is a newer edition, but it has like the same color scheme, but it's like printed differently. I think. Anyways, these are like 50 cents. Next book I have is Jean-Paul Sartre's Nausea. This book I've been looking for a copy of it for myself for at least a few years, probably since I was like 17. So yeah, 17 because I read it, but it's one of those books where I could never find any copy, So I think I asked the librarian at my high school to buy a copy so that I could read it or something and to have it as a part of the library, and she did, which I'm very grateful for her for doing. And I really, really, really felt this book. It's a book that sort of is indescribable in terms of, well, my personal reaction to it is more that it relates sort of a lot of the ways that I felt about myself and about daily life, I guess. Sort of like, it's really a book made up of what the banality of existence, I guess. Sort of getting caught up with that, not necessarily trying to live every day with some sort of meaning, but just like sort of living every day because you want it to be over, you know. Not the best way of, it's like trudging through life. And so I think that's sort of I mean, a lot of people can say it's sort of really overdone. Like, this book gets really old. It's also very depressing. It's a book that gets really old really fast for most people, and is incredible. And it's overwhelmingly sort of bleak, and not even in a fun way, because you don't get this guy's thoughts where he's like contemplating ending his life or something necessarily. It's more just sort of, he's just existing. He's okay with just existing to write a biography of whoever that guy was. Yeah, anyways, I'll probably, and I like the cover. I think it's Dolly. I'm not sure. But yeah, I like the edition, I like the cover. Sort of strange. I've never seen the gray spine of Penguin edition. Weird, but cool. Okay. Next one is this book of Dylan Thomas's collected poems. I don't really know much about Dylan Thomas. All I know is he's, Welsh poet. But I really liked this edition. I really like sort of how messed up it is. The slip cover is like getting just a little mangled and stuff. You can see like the red slipping out of it. I really like that. I like the cover. Not necessarily that I've been meaning to read Dylan Thomas's stuff necessarily, although probably will now. I think I first heard of Dylan Thomas in that Undercover collection. I think it was Spring Summer 19, where he had like these, or it was like, I think it was in the 2020s, 2021, where he had the I hold a madman and a beast within me. That's not the exact quote, probably not even close to it, but I found it interesting. And so, oh, my legs hurt. This is really uncomfortable. Oh gosh. Okay, whatever. But yeah, that's sort of what made me pick it up. Anyways, Octavio Paz, Configurations. I like this because it's a bilingual edition. Whenever I get poetry, I like to get bilingual edition. If it's translated, I like to get bilingual editions. Even if I don't necessarily understand the language. Like, I have an edition of Baudelaire's Flowers of Evil. I don't really know French, but it's just, I like to see both languages sort of configured next to each other. So this way I can read the Spanish with the English. And Octavio Paz is obviously really worth getting into. I don't really have any preconceived understanding of his. I really like to go into things blind. I don't really like to know anything. So if I don't claim to know much about these authors, because that's sort of how I like it. Oh, I didn't even remember buying this. It's just like a book of, well, just comedies. Um, God, this thing is dirty. I think I like the spine. I mean, I've read. What have I read? I read The Misanthrope, and I think it's called Tartuffe. Both of those plays are really. The Misanthrope is really funny. Like, it's probably the most funny play I've ever seen. I mean, not seen, but read. So I really like Misanthrope. Um, so these are just other comedies. Let's see. Oh shit! And it has a cool little thing in the front cover. Which is nice. And let's see what it has. Does it even have a table of contents? Doesn't even have a table of contents, but you know, hopefully good stuff in there. Should be fun. And from this specific thingy, has like dust on it. It's been on the ground. The person should probably have taken better care of this. Susan Sontag's In America, which looks, yeah, it's a novel. You have to specify. Sontag was always more of a essayist or like a critic or something. It was just cool. I don't know much about Sontag's. I think I watched an interview with her, which I thought was amusing. Obviously, you read that quote. What did she say? White people are the devils of the world or something. Which I found. Oh, and her I've heard of her Against Interpretation. That book, I've heard of that. I haven't read it. I don't have it. Just things like that. It's like, she just seems interesting. So cool to read her stuff. Okay, so we have 3 big bags left. Those are just some random stuff. Okay, I just ripped it. Okay. It's a book on Che Guevara. Wow, it's like 800 pages long. It just seemed interesting, and the guy gave it to me for like $3. It's from where is it at? Okay, so where Moses, it's in next to UC Berkeley. You walk down Telegraph Avenue. This guy called Chris, who always has like a tarp with like a bunch of books on the ground. So whenever I'm there, I always he's there Friday to Sunday or something. But he always has like pretty good stuff and pretty good prices. So he's just a cool guy to talk to anyway. So if you're there, it's cool to support him. He's good. Good guy. And yeah, I got this from him. A book on Che Guevara. So it's in Spanish too, or I probably wouldn't have gotten it. It's all messed up, which I like for some reason. So yeah, I mean, it's like 800 pages. Hopefully I read it soon. This stuff is from Sailor. You can see the Savers thing. Jorge Luis Borges. I can't even read. Dr. Brody's Report. Random name. I think it's obviously just a book of short stories and stuff. But I really like, it's just like a sick cover, sick typography. Just really sick stuff. Cool little spine. A nice little pink. Oh, I'm wearing it. It matches my shirt too, huh? I read the preface, which I really just stuff on translation. Reading about the act of translation, I really like. I'm trying sort of to translate something of myself, a little side project, which it's very, very, very difficult. So I think a lot of the time we take, the translators for granted. Like, I don't know, we read say Crime and Punishment or something, and we just we say, oh man, Dostoevsky's writing is seriously good or whatever. You're not really reading Dostoevsky's writing. You're reading that translator's well studied, interpretation of it, how he would write it in English. Dostoevsky never knew English. Dostoevsky never wanted to learn English, at least in a way that where he could write a novel of his ability on it. But it's essentially like, if you read a book in some original language, it's just like I like to use the metaphor of like a campfire. You're sitting around a campfire, and it's just you and the author that are there. You two are just next to each other, and the author is trying to basically tell you a story or relay some sort of information to you, whether you're reading philosophy or a novel or nonfiction or whatever. In the act of reading a translation of a book not in its original language, you're in the same sort of campfire, but instead of there being two people, you and the author, there's three people. It's you, the author, and obviously the translator, the interpreter. And it's not you talking to the author anymore. It's the author is, whispering in the ear of the translator, and the translator tries relaying the information to you. It's a lot more complicated of a situation, and translators never get any credit for anything. The only translation prize it's necessarily prestigious or that most readers are aware of is what, the Booker Prize in translation. But even there, it's like the act of translating novels that are unknown, that aren't necessarily cared about at that present moment, is even worse. Because, if you translate Dostoevsky, there's someone who's interested in reading that. You translate Borges, someone is interested in reading Borges. Borges is in the literary world, a known figure, someone who most people, learned people, want to read. If you translate, I don't know, some Honduran poet or something, there isn't necessarily a market for that. So I think those are the sort of translations and the sort of writers that we need to seek out more of, at least as a group of community of readers. Anyway, this is a collection of poems called Hard Labor by Cesare Pavese. This I think I got from Sabers too, and it just seems really strange. It's also a bilingual edition. It's in Italian and in English, I believe. But yeah, it just looked interesting. Looks sort of dated. Looks like a 90s self-help book or something. But I just, you get books of poetry are fairly, the goal is to find a couple poems that really connect to you. That's sort of why we do that. Anyways, I didn't even remember getting this, but Classic Telugu Poetry Anthology. I think it was Kerouac who was influenced. I think, let me see. It's in the slip. It's even published by UC Berkeley Publishing, which is interesting. I can't even find it, but one of the beat poets was influenced by this, and it has so much yellowing and stuff. It's crazy, but it looks cool, Why not? It's just from Savers too. Don't mind the $7.49. It was less than that. Um, but it's nice spine, you know. Looks good on the bookshelf, and you just sort of try to expand your horizons however you can. I forgot about this. This Percy Bysshe Shelley, the Major. I always hear about Shelley, so you know, this is like a mammoth of a book. 349. But you know, you gotta read this sort of stuff. Gosh, it has like 590 footnotes. So, major works. Nice anthology. I should probably read that. Okay, there's some stuff I want to save for later. Okay. Sapolonia. Which, I don't really know anything about. This is by, Ana Castillo. I don't even know who this is. But, you know, maybe I'll like it. And I really like the cover. I thought it looked cool. This is from Savers, too. But I got lucky, and it was on, you know how these thrift stores have, like, these different color days? It was, like, a yellow day. So everything was, like, 25% off, which is good. Good for me. Okay. Next is a pretty big group of stuff that I got. Give me a second. Because it's like, oh, jeez. I gotta really. Oh, there's more stuff. This is from the Savers too. I got really lucky finding this. God, this is heavy. It's like a University of Chicago. I think it's supposed to be like important Western reading or something. But it has Kant. I already have Critique of Pure Reason and stuff, so I guess this has different stuff. Oh, Great Books of the Western World. I mean, it's not all of them, but it was enough of them to the point I was like, you know, I like the way these things look. Montaigne, you know, and I think like it's the University of Chicago press, and the University of Chicago seal is like so awesome. It's just like a dragon, you know. It's just epic. Machiavellian Hobbes. I hope this has the discourses. I always wanted to read Machiavelli's discourses. I don't really like. I had a book of like selected Machiavelli. Oh, it doesn't have it. I had a book of selected Machiavelli. I mean, selected Machiavelli stuff, which had all of the prints and some of Machiavelli's discourses, and I thought his discourses were way better than the prints. I think it's sort of unfair that he gets characterized as sort of the most evil person politically, even though like that's sort of just outlining political strategy, not necessarily his beliefs. I don't even know who this author is. Rabelais. Should be interesting. See who he is. French. There's the Iliad and the Odyssey. This is good. Good and interesting. That would probably be rereads. Descartes and Spinoza, which is good. I haven't read either, so. And this is like all the Greek stuff. Aeschylus, Sophocles, Euripides, Aristophanes. So, you know, a lot of good basic or essential reading. And some napkins. I don't know why, but we got that. Okay, there's two more bags of stuff. So I'm gonna need a second. Oh. Alright, I gotta get comfortable. I don't really even have space to get these out of the frame. I gotta arrange everything. Alright. This stuff is also from the Berkeley Friends of the Library bookstore. Something on Picasso. I was actually reading this when I was waiting for someone in the car at the grocery store. I read like maybe 30 pages of this, and it has like color illustrations. It has like his early works, and it's just really good. I like his early stuff. Just gonna be good to read through. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, this is Young Man and His Symbols. I think this is like literally 50 cents. And I've heard of this book before, but I've never read it. Everyone likes Young more than Freud. Sure depresses me. But hopefully I'll see why when I read stuff. I don't even know when I got First Love by Ivan Turgenev. I guess I was just like looking for stuff to buy because I don't really know. I have so much stuff that I need to read, and I just got like an 80-page, 100-page novella. Looks to be Russian. I've never even heard of this, or maybe I have. So I guess it's fine. Let's see what's next. Oh, I vaguely remember buying this. Piano Players by Burgess. I mean, I just I really don't see Burgess's stuff. Like, I obviously have a copy of The Clockwork Orange. Obviously, I really enjoyed that book. It was my favorite book for like probably a year or two when I was considerably younger. But I really, really, really enjoyed it. But you know, I don't really see his stuff around. So this is just a chance to read his other works and not like pigeonhole him. Oh, you're the guy who made A Clockwork Orange, you know? He made probably better stuff. So, a little picture of him. I actually just finished watching his video. What's it called? All's Fun in Finnegan's Wake. Which I really liked. I've never read Finnegan's Wake, or any Joyce for that matter, but that's a really fun video to watch. And so I just really enjoyed myself. Man, Burgess is really fun to read. Even though I heard like his process, like he literally, like I think nowadays basically every writer just does the thing where they get a first draft, put all their ideas out, and revise it a bunch of times and cut out all the trash lines. Burgess literally writes 1 page at a time and to his perceived perfection, and then goes to the next page. He can't keep going until a page is perfect, which I think is a mark of insanity. I could never do that. On my feet. I don't even know what this is. I think this is a book of like interviews and stuff. It's in Spanish. It's called Yoshua Ocon. I guess it's like a filmmaker of a sort. I don't know what this is, but let's see. I think it has cool pictures. Yeah, it has like, where is the pictures at? Give me a sec. I don't even know. No, I'm not gonna show that. I guess these are like mug shots. I don't know what this is. I just thought it looked interesting. And it's really strange. it has the table of contents in the top, in like the cover, which I thought was just stuff that you just like. I better just buy it. Dusty as hell. Samuel Johnson. It's like the poetry and prose. I don't know anything about Samuel Johnson. I've never read any of his stuff, but start now. So we'll see what he's about. I don't even know what time frame he's from, but I like the spine. I thought it looked nice, and it should be fun. Okay, lastly, from this bag, gotta clean it up. I think I know what this is. I remember buying this one. It doesn't even. Oh, it does say The Complete Shakespeare. I don't know if this has the apocryphal stuff. Maybe it does. But I was going through this thing of like, do I collect all the various plays? And then I just sort of didn't want to anymore because there's so many, and I just didn't want to. And so I just got sort of, I don't even like holding this because it's very heavy. Yeah, and then I found this at the Berkeley Friends Library sale. And I was like, I'll just buy this. It has everything. And it was like $5. And it looks cool. Cool spine. So I just bought it. And now it's mine. Now I can read it. I can read whatever Shakespeare whenever I want. And not have to get these 30 flimsy paperbacks, like a bum. Now I feel I'm educated. I have these educated looking books, and not the college kid, paperback Shakespeare. Like, and he has like the Cliff Notes edition too, so you can look through it and try and cheat himself of attempting to read something difficult. Now I have the whole thing. I don't have to feel strange. Anyways, I probably went on too long about that. This is the last bag. God, it's 38 minutes gone by. Okay, hopefully not too many will follow. Okay, this is just the standard mass market edition of Catcher in the Rye. I really like these mass market editions. I don't know why. But last time I read Catcher in the Rye, I read it on the entire car ride. It's like one of the first serious books I read when I was like 14, 13. I just read it on a car ride to somewhere. I don't remember where I was even going. But I read it. I feel like when you're that young, you can't really understand. I mean, I liked it, or I perceived that I liked it, but it's like you can't really understand stuff. Maybe it just takes a lot of reading in general. But your first like 30 books, serious books, you just can't understand. Or if you're like 14, you can't understand anything. So then you're supposed to be able to read these difficult books. Okay, in my opinion, Catcher in the Rye is sort of difficult in its simplicity in a lot of ways. Maybe I'll have a video on that. But you're expected to read these things, and it's like you don't even, you're not capable of it. And it's sort of sad, because then the 14-year-old is like, J.D. Salinger is like terrible writer. This book, it's like Holden is like egotistical maniac, not a good main character. Actually, now that I'm just thinking about this, I remember a time where J.D. Salinger's short story, which preceded Catcher in the Rye, called I'm Crazy. That was like, I would read that over and over and over and over. This is before I read Perfect Day for Banana Fish. But that short story I really, really liked. I think it was in the New Yorker. like a year before Catcher in the Rye was made or was published. That was when I was like 16 or 17. Anyways, this is a book of writing about Bakunin. I know of him as he's an anarchist author. I think he had this quote about like the our act of destruction is just as equal of a act of creation or something. And that was like my bio on chess.com. Or like, it still is good. I don't even play chess anymore. Not that I ever played in any sort of way that wasn't, dangling my mouse around different stuff. Anyways, next we have the infamous Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. The guy who I buy these books from, Chris, he was like, "This is gonna take you a month to read, man. I don't know, this is gonna be a crazy ass book." So I was like, huh. He's telling me this. It's like, I wonder if this will be true. But I've been looking for this for a while. Probably the most infamous book. I think it's already a classic. I don't know. But I have it now. I have a book of his collected writings, like his articles and stuff. I think he published about like the time we went on a cruise and stuff like that, which I haven't read. But it just looks fun. I was actually listening to his interviews a couple days ago. There's like a collection of all of the interviews he's ever done on YouTube. It's like 12-hour podcast. So I was just listening to that, and I just like the way he speaks. Really, he's a very good listen for an interviewee. Lessons from the Intersext. I don't really know why I got this, but I think just conceptually, the thought of an intersex person, someone who biologically can't necessarily be considered completely male or female. I just thought that conceptually it's interesting to sort of try to read and see the perspective of how they try to navigate existence, especially in a society where there's very obviously it's a two-sex society. So it's like, how do they navigate that? How do they choose to overcome the aspect of themselves that either isn't entirely male or female? I think it's very interesting. So hopefully this book gives me some sort of insight on that. I might actually read this very soon. I'm sort of convincing myself right now. Paul Demand's critical writings. I haven't read much criticism, so this should be interesting to read. I think he writes about Madame Bovary. Keats, Heidegger, Louis Borges, Camus, John Keats, and he writes about Derrida too. So it's just criticism. I don't really read criticism, so I should probably at least a little bit. Okay, we do have that much. Okay. Pretty easy understandable. Anne Frank, The Diary of a Young Girl. It's just, things you should read. Things you should probably experience or understand in your life. Not that it's a part of some list or something, but Eleanor Roosevelt wrote the introduction, which I found very random. So why not just try? I don't really. It says Molly. The Journal of Molly Dorsey Sanford in Nebraska and Colorado territories. I don't really know where I got this. God, there's like some sort of black stuff on the back. This I'll probably just read like super quickly. I don't have much to say. I mean, I guess it's interesting to know how the westward expansion people lived. It's cool. Great Expectations. Dickens. I forgot I got this. I just actually finished reading Oliver Twist like maybe a week ago, maybe 6 days ago, and I quite enjoyed it. I'm sort of working on making a video or sort of trying to write something out about the introduction to that book, because I really liked it. Well, I like the whole book, but I don't really see much to talk about it. I think everything's already been, but the introduction of that and introduction of another book, I'll probably make a video about. Probably one of these days. Yeah, this is just things you should read. Dickens. Great Expectations. The expectations are great. From me to him. Okay. F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Beautiful and the Damned. I already have. What's his debut called? I think I already have Tenders the Night. I've already read Great Gatsby. I've already read. It's a good novel. So just gotta keep going. Gotta keep reading his stuff. So this I'll probably read. This is some of the more stuff where it's like, I mean, I like Fitzgerald. I like sort of, American authorship is enjoyable, but sometimes it feels sort of like the questions that are being asked are relate to a very specific amount of like material possessions. So a lot of the things are sort of material, and they're just sort of daunting to read about the materialism itself. Okay, I don't know if that made sense. I tried. Okay, this is sort of random. Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court by Mark. I've never even heard of this. But it just sounded interesting. You hear about his other stuff, like, was it Pudd'nhead Wilson? I'm trying to cheat and look at my bookshelf, but I have poor vision. Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn. But that book I never heard of, so try and read it. Why not? Oh man, all this stuff has been bended. This is Blood Meridian. Blood Meridian seems cool. I have some other. I even have. Where is it? All the Pretty Horses. I haven't read anything by Cormac McCarthy, but it seems pretty necessary. So I need to unbend this though. Look how it got messed up. I don't know if it's visible. Yeah, that's pretty visible. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but it's got a little bent too. I think it's already like this. Things Fall Apart. I got this a while ago actually, and now it's actually popping off. I think a lot of people are reading this. I guess I should. Oh man, I didn't even check. Look, it's all underlined. Man, I dislike when people underline like sections in literally if you underline like a section of a page or 2 sections each chapter or something, or every 9 or 10 pages, then it's understandable. Those are the parts which resonate with you the most, or you think are most important to the plot. But if you highlight paragraphs in every single page, you might as well highlight nothing at all. It's like, what are you saving for the next time you check what you highlight? You usually highlight everything. Like, what are you doing? Okay, I'll try to hide my annoyance a little better. All right. Next up, The Daunting Ulysses by James Joyce. I don't really remember. Pretty sure I got this at the Friends of the Library book sale in Berkeley. I tried reading Portrait of a Young Man a while ago, probably when I was like 17, and I couldn't get it down my system. I was like 20 pages in, and I was like, I can't do this. I still have it. I think I don't have it. I have Stephen Hero, I think, which is, I think, a different version of it. But I'm older now, hopefully better able to read it and enjoy it. Or by it, I mean Joyce's work. But we'll see what happens, you know. The Mill and the Floss, George Eliot. Gosh, the corner got like bitten off. Just checking to see if this is underlined. Thank God it isn't. Anyways, I haven't read any of Eliot's stuff. I have Middlemarch, somewhere over there. I haven't read it. I mean, I like his name, George Eliot. It's a nice name. Probably shouldn't buy books based off of names of authors. But yeah, not really much to say, but I should probably read it. I guess you could say that about every single book that I've pulled out of these bags. I probably should read it. It's a little bent too. Poems of Heaven and Hell from Ancient Mesopotamia. It's cool. Oh, it has stuff on it. I don't even know what this is. Dorothy Savinsky. Ceramic art. Oh, that's cool. I guess she's promoting. Actually, this cost me $3, which I'm gonna be slightly annoyed by because I went to this library, Friends of the Library sale in Sunnyvale, and their pricing was so off. They had a couple things that I wanted, but it's like $3 for this. It's like, I don't think so. I mean, I just don't think so. If you're as a Friends of the Library sale, I think you want to turn things over. You want to turn over what people donate for you to sell. You just want to make more space. I guess not. Modern Utopia, H.G. Wells. Another $3 I spent on this stuff. They literally have a security guard right there to make sure you don't just leave with these things. You don't trust me? I mean, with these prices, maybe you shouldn't, right? So you have to pay the librarian. We'll see how much I spent, but this is another $3. I'm never going back there. Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, $4. This, I don't know, this is $4. Like, look at the inside. It's literally like 7 lines. You know, you can read this in a day. I mean, it's nice. I don't never seen this publisher before. BMC. It's a nice book. But $4, I don't know, man. Oh yeah, you guys were watching God. Zora Hurston, sorry. Jeez. It looked like little bit of, what is it called? Reflection, a little bit of gold action. It's just important to read like the other um Harlem Renaissance stuff. I read Invisible Man like a while ago, like maybe 6 months ago. That book seriously affected me, but obviously positively, right? Obviously, no. Who did she have a big feud with? It wasn't Ralph Ellison. It was Langston Hughes. Yeah, I think yeah. She and Langston Hughes were gonna write something. I forgot the title of it. Like I think it's called like the Mud Bucket or something. No, it's something Bones. I don't remember off the top of my head. Um, but she like insulted him or something. They were like good friends. That happens. Stuff like this happens with writers a lot for some reason. Probably because they're always thinking of stuff. I should probably elaborate on that, but I don't feel like it. All right. The last book in here. Gosh, it's dirty for some reason. Derrida's of grammatology. Picture of a hieroglyph. This had been, well, I wasn't meaning to read it per se, but the guy with the tarp had it, so I was like, I'll just get it. Why not? Read it soon, like everything else I've said. Guys, about to flip over. Derrida, he just seems like a cool guy. This is really not literary interpretation, but I don't know. I don't know much about him. I know that a lot of people hate him, which I guess is a funny thing to know. Wow. Should I count how many books there I got? I'll just count. I don't have anything better to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Wow, that's an exact number. I got exactly 50 books. Oh man, my legs are really killing me. Good thing I didn't kneel this whole time. I was gonna kneel the whole time, but I didn't kneel the whole time, so my knees will forgive me. Anyways, just on a personal note, not on a personal note, I'm just currently reading Tolstoy's A Confession, and I think it includes some of his other religious writings. So hopefully I'll have something about that too soon. Anyways, if you made it this far or just like skip through stuff, I'd probably do the same thing. Thank you, and hope you enjoyed my first, I guess, actual video. And yeah, keep reading stuff. At least trying. And goodbye. Peace.